One Piece is hilarious. Alright, that's a fact. And in fact, across the vast catalog of anime, it might just in fact be the most funny anime that I've ever seen. But what isn't talked about nearly enough... What's this? So we all know the really funny jokes, you know, like Luffy stuffing the zombie back into the ground, Frankie's introduction, Robin twisting his testes. Like, there's a lot of top-tier comedy moments that everyone talks about, but what I want to talk about today is some of the underappreciated jokes in One Piece. Now, these jokes live rent-free in my head, but I suspect a lot of people might not think that they're that funny because some of these I haven't heard anyone talk about. And I want to bring awareness to these jokes. Like, they are really funny, and I want to kind of hopefully sway you on this. So, got a couple of jokes today, 5 One Piece jokes, all that I consider to be kind of underrated in the community, and hopefully we can bring some awareness and bring some laughs. So thank you guys for watching. We're gonna get started. So the first joke that I already know that a lot of people won't understand when I say this, but hopefully when I start talking about it, you're gonna understand. It's gonna be Luffy versus Kaido, but from Kaido's perspective. So I want you to picture this for me, all right? You're Kaido, all right? You meet Luffy, he tries to fight you, you knock his ass out. You know, you're a Yonko, people try you all the time, no big deal. So you knock him out, you throw his ass in jail because you're Kaido. You know, you're not gonna kill him, that's not how you do things. You want people to know who the boss is. 2 weeks later, you're having a party with all your homies. This motherfucker shows up with like 100 other people ready to beat the fuck out of you, and they jump you, and for like the next 27 hours you're getting your ass kicked on the roof, but really you're beating everybody else up. So you're just like getting jumped on your roof for like fucking all night, just all night, and you're just knocking people out, throwing them off the roof one by one by one. You finally beat up this guy, the guy that you beat up and threw in jail the first time. You knock his ass out and you throw him off the cliff. Now you see him go into the water, right? Okay, he goes into the ocean, which is, to your knowledge, the one thing that will surely kill him as a devil fruit user. Like, it would kill you, even though you're way stronger than him, if you just jumped in that water. So you know he's done. You see it with your own eyes. You go back to beating up everybody else that was jumping you in the party, and like 37 minutes later, this motherfucker comes out of the sea riding a dragon to punch you in the face and keep fighting you. I cannot emphasize this enough. Like, really put yourself in Kaido's shoes. You're supposed to be the only dragon. Like, I don't think Kaido knew that Momo was a dragon at all, and even if he did, a dragon of that size, it just didn't exist. You're Kaido, you're the only dragon. This crackhead that you've been fighting for like a week at this point, if you add up all the ass whoopings you've given him, you threw him into the ocean, he should be dead. He comes out of the ocean riding a dragon that shouldn't exist, and he keeps fighting. This is why the funniest part in this is when Luffy comes back riding Momo and he punches Kaido. Kaido's response is, Mugiwara! Where did you get this dragon? Who is this? He's justifiably confused. There should not be another dragon. And Luffy doesn't answer him, or they say that it's Momo. Either way, if I was Kaido, I'd still have way more questions. I just feel so bad for him. And, you know, the fight goes on. The guy that you're fighting gets cheated and he loses. But then after you see him die, this time you literally see the life leave his eyes. And he comes back as Bugs Bunny, ready to beat your ass all over again. Like, can you, like, that's funny. Like, you're Kaido, you've been fighting a crackhead for a week, and he comes back as Bugs Bunny to bring it on home and beat you up. Like, I cannot, like, he punches you into a volcano. The whole thing is ridiculous. So the next one I want to talk about is actually, we're going to bring it to some filler arcs. Now, we all know that G5 is the OG filler arc of One Piece. Nothing's ever going to be funnier than that, right? That's common knowledge. But what people don't talk about enough is this filler arc between Enies Lobby and Thriller Bark. This weird stolen flag arc. I think it's called, I looked it up, the Ice Hunters arc. It's hilarious. The whole arc is hilarious. And especially after Enies Lobby, when all the tension was at an all-time high. I feel like we don't appreciate this arc enough. Like, I don't hear anybody talking about this arc, but it's funny. It's full of really good character moments with the crew, and it's just funny. The whole premise is there's these sorry-ass group of pirates that go around stealing pirate flags, and they end up getting the Straw Hats flag, right? So the tension from the arc, the whole tension, it's not even necessarily getting the flag back. It's that the whole crew doesn't want Luffy to find out that they let the flag get stolen, simply because he would definitely give them an unending supply of shit for it. Like, Luffy just comes back and the flag is gone, and they instantly think he's gonna be like, what the fuck, I was gone for 4 minutes and the goddamn flag's gone? What were you guys doing? Oh, I bet Zoro was sleeping. I bet Nami was just taking a bath, and I bet Sanji was too busy trying to peep on Nami taking a bath, so he didn't do shit. And what was Chopper doing? Nothing. Typical. Honestly, I don't know how we're gonna make it to the new world, guys, but this is the sorriest pirate crew ever. Like, they imagine him saying all of those things, and they all unanimously come to the decision. It was like, oh, I can't take that. Fuck that. Anything but that. We need to get this goddamn pirate flag back. So the whole tension is coming from they just don't want their idiot of a captain giving them shit for a mistake that they probably honestly shouldn't have made. And it's just funny, and it leads to more gags with Zoro being one of the only people that have been to the fortress that they need to go to, so they've got to follow him, and he doesn't know where the fuck he's going. But Usopp's passionate about it, like, no, we can do this. We're gonna get this flag before Luffy finds out. So Zoro starts taking him up the stairs and shit like that, and after like 8 doors, Usopp's like, you have no idea where you're going, do you? This is ridiculous. I mean, there's only one flight of stairs. How are you getting lost? We've been in every room but the one room we need to go to. The whole arc is funny. I think if you haven't watched it, you should watch it. If you've watched it maybe once, I watched it again recently. Really fucking funny. I highly recommend. Now, number 3 is one that I do hear people talking about. However, it's not as much as I want them to be talking about. And that is Frankies Brother in Fishman Island. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, there's this really funny scene where the crew's in Fishman Island. By the way, Frankie doesn't do anything in Fishman Island. He's with the Sunny the whole time. I struggle to remember exactly why he's so absent from the plot, but it doesn't matter. Frankie is with the Sunny, and he's coating it or something like that, but he meets his mentor's Tom's brother, and he's helping him coat the ship or something like that. And so Luffy shows up, and he's like, hey, who is this? What are you doing? What are you doing to the Sunny? And Frankie's like, oh, he explains the situation. He's like, oh, that's just my mentor Tom's brother, and he's coating the ship for us. And when Frankie explains that he's Tom's brother and he's helping him coat the ship, Luffy's response to he's like, oh, I got it. So he's a shipwright coating Frankie's brother. And Frankie takes this long pause, like honestly like 30 seconds, and just stares at Luffy before he finally goes, yep, you got it. That's it. That's exactly it. Like, I appreciate this moment so much, because if it was anybody else in that situation, they would be not only dumbfounded by Luffy's stupidity, but they would try to correct him. You put any other crewmate, they would just start breaking their brain cells trying to explain how Luffy is a fucking idiot. And Frankie, this gem of a man, was literally just like, he saw it in his eyes and was like, oh, so you're just stupid. And he lets it go. He lets it go right there. And it's just, that's so funny. And I love it so much. I love them both so much. The next one is one I also don't hear people talking about, but this is very funny, and it's the Sabaody intro. Like, when they first get to Sabaody Archipelago, and everybody's like settling in, they're learning the lore and everything like that. There's 2 really funny scenes, and the first one has to do with Sanji, and it's the most quoted Sanji moment for me, when Sanji's like talking about Nami being like, oh, if only there was some brave prince that could watch all of the treasure, and he turns around and he's like, it's me! I love that. But then immediately after that, Zoro wakes up from his nap and he jumps off the ship and he starts walking. And Usopp notices and like, well, hold on a second. Zoro, where are you going? Sanji chimes in. Hold on, where are you going, bro? And Zoro's just like, oh, I'm just going for a walk. And they just start yelling at him like, don't be stupid. We just got here. We don't know where we're going. You're gonna get lost. And to which Zoro replies, I'm not an idiot. Like, look, the trees are labeled. Like, obviously, I can find my way back. I just have to memorize which tree that the ship is next to. And then they both are like, oh, I didn't realize you were so smart. Wow, even an idiot can get things right sometimes. All right, well, be careful. And a funny line that Sanji says is, be sure not to trust yourself. Remember exactly what you just said and don't deviate from that. And then Zoro turns around and he gets the he gets the number on the trees wrong. He looks at it and he's like, so I'm at number 1. And it wasn't. It was some other number, and he just walks off completely confident. And it's like, he's immediately lost. Like, he's instantly has no idea where he's going or where he is now. So funny. The Zoro gets lost gag, I had thought it would get old. It still hasn't. We're like 25 years into this fucking series. It is still so funny how much Zoro does not know where he's going. And that is my favorite instance of that. And the last one that I want to talk about, number 5, that's going to be Smart Luffy. Now, this one I do see on Twitter sometimes. And if you don't know about Smart Luffy, well, you're about to get to know who he could have been. Because there's a brief moment, I think it's right before Skypiea. Robin's reading a book and everybody's just bored on the ship. Everybody's settled into doing like these mundane tasks, and it's before they encounter Jaya. I think they're reading, Robin's reading the storybook. And Luffy's so bored and he goes, what are you reading? And everybody has like a silent freak out moment where they go, everybody be calm. If Luffy reads this book, maybe he won't be a fucking idiot. We have to make sure this goes well. Nobody say anything. They're all just almost telepathically communicating with each other. Like, we need this to go well. We need him to read a book and stop being an idiot because all of our lives will be better if this happens. We need this. And he gets so close. Luffy expresses interest in the book. Zoro comes in and he's like, hey, there's an island outside. And Luffy just shoots up like, really? Yahoo! Like, that shit. I'm not gonna lie. That one's in here specifically because I love Luffy's little fucking Yahoo moment. Like, he fucking turns into Mario for like 3 seconds and just floats out of his chair and just embraces stupidity. And the whole crew is just like, God, we were so close. Like, we were so close to something. But those are just the 5 that we have for today. I'm sure there's a million more. If you guys can think of any, please mention them in the comments. I would love to talk with you guys about that, or about anything One Piece related, really. I just love this story. But I'm ready to laugh, and I really feel like as funny as this series is, we need to bring more light and attention to the underappreciated jokes. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.